This is the 2025 BMW X7. Is it a great luxury three-row SUV option? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. Today I'm at Orr BMW in Shreveport, Louisiana, and we're going to go over the particulars on this model. As always, there's a link in the description of the video if you are interested in buying. I think it's available in inventory. I'm not sure. I'll have to check and see because they're still trying to sell some 24s, and so it may or may not be there. We'll just have to check and see. But let's see what you get if this is something you're interested in as a 2025 model. LED lighting will obviously be all over the place, everywhere you look. You're going to have active air curtains here with the front end, air flowing in through this area. And if you're curious to see, it does come out right in this area right here. So that is indeed active, for those who might wonder. And you'll find a lot of gloss black here on the exterior. It works. And the grille is going to be highlighted by the forward-facing camera, and it is illuminated. So we're going to try and see the illumination on the grille later in the video if I can get into a dark enough atmosphere. This is the xDrive 40i. Being xDrive, that means all-wheel drive. Let's talk about our tire and wheel size. Now we're gonna have a little bit of a difference here. 275/40 here on the front end, so 275 on the width, a 40 series sidewall wrapped around the 22-inch gloss black wheels. And I'm a big fan of red, but I have to say, the blue brake calipers really fit here. They look nice, something a little different. Nice to see that. And when we work our way here to the rear, you're going to have a different size rear tire. Still the 22-inch rim, but in this case, the width will be 315 and a 35 series sidewall. And we'll take a quick look at the remote. There are no changes for 2025 in case anybody was wondering about that. But maybe it's time for a new vehicle and you're saying to yourself, well, a 2025 X7 sounds good to me. And when you walk up to the vehicle, it's going to unlock. When you have the remote on your person, when you walk away, it will lock. So nice feature as far as that goes. Power adjustable side view mirrors. They're not only power adjustable, they're power folding as well. They're also heated. So when you lock the vehicle, let's get inside real quick and I'll show you real quick one of the options for folding these power folding side view mirrors. You can push the button right here. And there you go. You can see the power folding functionality. Heated with blind spot monitoring built in. The gloss black roof rails will be up there, and probably going to be kind of hard to see from this vantage point, but there is also a panoramic sunroof. We'll get a closer look at that in just a little bit. Here is your rear roof spoiler. You do have the exposed rear window wiper. I personally do like to see those tucked away up here when there's room, but not necessarily a big deal. Finishing things off here with the nice LED taillights, the X7 logo, and the xDrive 40i logo. One of my personal favorite features is right here. You'll see that release for the hood release lever says ×2 on it. And when you pull on it 2 times, here's what happens. You don't have to go hunting around for any kind of a special release under the hood to open it. Just simplifies things. It does have the struts to help open it and keep it open. And when we look inside, we see the 3-liter twin power inline 6-cylinder. It puts out a very plentiful 375 horsepower and 398 pounds-feet of torque, and it's mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. And this engine does come with a 48-volt mild hybrid system, so you would expect some decent gas mileage numbers. Tell me what you think. 20 miles per gallon city, 24 highway, 22 combined, and 4.5 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. And something you don't get a lot in these car review videos is information on the gas tank size. 21.9 gallons is what you have, and it does not come with capless fuel fill. I know some people don't like that. Good news. If you're not a fan of capless fuel fill, you have really what amounts to what's becoming an old school gas cap. When it comes to towing capacity, the X7 is capable of towing up to 7,500 pounds, a respectable number, and you will also find quite a bit of cargo capacity. In fact, we have a split tailgate here. 12.4 up to 94.8 cubic feet of cargo capacity. You have the ability to remove the cover right here, there's also another cover that is inside right here. So depending on what you need to do, where you need to put that, you can put that in, or you can leave it out so you can help your passengers to have plenty of space. Now, what's interesting here is that I am just going to push the button. You saw, I don't know if you saw it on the screen or not, but I just pushed the button right there to lower these seats one time. I didn't hold it down or anything like that. They're a little slow to react, and then they're going to come back up the same way. So you just push them one time or pull them to put them back up, and then you can put the headrests back in place. And if you're wondering what these are the pillows that can be mounted to the headrests. Quite a bit of space underneath the floor if needed. As you can see right there, you have the cargo cover. There's a spot specifically for that to help out. You have some lighting back here as well, and you can see that you can really get quite a bit of space. You have a lot of nice little spots here for cargo capacity and a 12-volt power outlet when you need it. When you close everything up, you're just going to push the button back here, and both the split tailgate, the upper and the lower tailgate areas will close as you see on the screen. Let's talk about what your rear seat passengers are going to find. You do have the privacy shades right here that can be raised or lowered depending on what you want to do. You can obviously raise and lower those. They are power, as you can see over there on the passenger side, and then I'll push the button over here as well. Quite a bit of room with the armrest. Very comfortable as well. I like the size of that armrest. My arm sure fits up there nicely, and you have a little bit of space here within the door bin, actually quite a bit of space. That's a good thing. Power adjustable seats on both sides, as you can see via the controls right here. And when you pull up on this lever and bring the seat forward like that, you'll notice, I'm going to show you this in real time, that the seat moves forward and gets out of the way to make it easy to gain access to and to get out of the third row. Speaking of that, let's hop inside and take a look at what we have back here as far as space goes. I'll hop over here onto the passenger side and show you what's here. You have, well, a reasonable amount of leg room. Obviously the seats can be moved back and forth, and these buttons that you see right here actually control the position of these rear seats. And so if they need to be folded flat, that's another option that is there. In fact, let me pull up on this, or let me pull this back actually. The seat will automatically begin to come back. It's kind of slow to do it, but it is power as far as that goes, moving back into place. And you can see how potentially far up that can go. This is as far back as it goes. It's not terrible, plenty of room actually where that's concerned. And there also will be cup holders on each side, as you can see right there, and a USB connection option down there. That's going to be on the driver's side. Over here on this side we'll find the same thing. It's just concealed away right there. So quite a bit of space back here. And then we not only have the rear sunroof, but we also have a panoramic sunroof. I will open that shade for you shortly, just so you can see what it looks like when that shade is drawn forward. If it's a really hot day, well, that's easy to deal with as far as fixing that problem. And here is what the panoramic sunroof looks like. I'm drawing the shade back. That front section up there does tilt and slide open. We'll find rear seat pockets on the back of both seats. So the rear seat passengers, or should I say the middle row passengers, will have some space to store things. And here's the command center with the air conditioning vents. You have dual zone climate control in the rear seating area. Not something you see very often. So we have 4 zones of climate control. We have some connectivity options down there, as you can see, in addition to cup holders. And there is the X7 logo. Very comfortable seats back here, by the way. And here's something that's interesting. You see the position of the armrests down there. You can actually pull these up and put them in a couple of different positions depending on where you want them to be. Let's put that back up here. So if somebody wanted it right there, they could put it right there. Now that may look like, in fact, let me do mine over here so I can show it a little bit better. that looks a little awkward, doesn't it, to have your hand kind of dangling off there? Well, that's an easy problem to fix, because you can actually move this top portion, the padded portion that counts the most, forward, and it makes it a lot more comfortable. You can see how it's contoured right there. So if your wrist is down like that, your hand is pointed down, you're still very comfortable. You can actually move your arm a couple of different places on there. There's actually quite a bit of space, and you just pull up on that, and then you can put it back down into its original stowed position. And here on the driver's side door panel, nothing out of the ordinary, but in case you're wondering what's here, well, all of your typical controls. You also have seat memory here, and so that is going to be a good thing. You also have seat memory over there on the passenger side, not something we always see on all vehicles. And we'll have a tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. It is power adjustable right here. And here are the controls for the power adjustable seat. You're going to have that for the driver and the passenger. You have the thigh extension right here, which this is the button to control that. So if you want to move that back and forth, I know for me, I just like for that to be in its conventional position. Some people might want it in different positions, but it's nice to know that you have those options. And for those who stuck around to this point in the video, what is the sticker price? $93,875. Let's see what else you get for that price. A very nice modern look with your instrument cluster and your infotainment screen. It does have a little bit of a curvature to it to make it more angled towards the driver as far as the infotainment screen goes. It just looks nice. Any flickering effect that you see, if it happens to show up that way on your screen, don't worry. That's not due to anything other than my camera. And steering wheel mounted controls over here on the left-hand side of the steering wheel. To debunk a big-time myth, this model comes with blinkers. Believe it or not, all BMWs do. And that just means that when you don't see blinkers on BMWs, it's not because they don't have them, it's because those of you who are driving them aren't using them. Some of you do and some of you don't. So good on you for those who do. Here's how you're going to control your front and rear window wipers, your steering wheel mounted controls. You do have a heated steering wheel here if you want to use that functionality. In fact, I'll show you how to get to that. There is the option to turn that on or off. Also, your heated seats for the driver and the passenger. Personally, I would rather see physical controls in this area for controlling the air, the fan speed, all of that. A very nice but modern looking infotainment screen, very simplistic, easy to use. Going to make a lot of adjustments and see a lot of information about the vehicle. Pretty easy to deal with, that's for sure. Depending on what you need to see, well, no big deal. And when I go into reverse, obviously we get our multi-view views of the camera. Depending on what you need to see and where you need to see, well, you can choose that. You can go in and make some changes to your settings if you want to. Pretty easy to deal with where all of that is concerned. It's very clear, kind of hard to see because it has the protective film on it right now. I'm just trying to leave that on there because it was on there when I picked the vehicle up today from the dealership. And if you don't want to get fingerprints on your screen, well, I guess you could leave that on there, or you could take it off and use this area that allows it to, well, not be a touch screen. So it just depends on what you're doing. Pretty easy to deal with. You've got your one-touch features as far as your driving modes go. We have Eco Pro. Let's see if we can get that to come up for us. We'll go back to Home and get that to come up. There we go. There's Eco Pro. We'll also have Comfort, and we're going to have Sport, Individual, or Sport. So it just depends on what you want to do. Easy to deal with, that's for sure. And when you want to go into park, there you go. Put your transmission in park. And then we have our Bombay doors, a reasonable amount of space within the center console. You can see the USB option down there as well. Here's your upper console. Just a quick look at what's here. A very upscale and high-end material, or interior I should say. The materials are high-end, but the thing I like here is that while this looks very complicated, it's really not that difficult to learn or use. Okay, we're out on the road for the test drive. Comfortable ride quality, great handling, that goes without saying, but I'll tell you what, if you really want to wake up this X7, drive it in sport mode, that makes a big difference. 375 horsepower, definitely not the highest out there, but when you need it, it's there, and there's plenty of it. It will put you back in the seat a little bit. It may not be the most neck-snapping experience you've had as far as a vehicle that has some performance built into it, but by no means is it weak, so that is a good thing. The seats themselves, nice and comfortable. And I do apologize that I wasn't able to get into the dark atmosphere I had hoped to, that I mentioned earlier in the video. The delivery room at the BMW dealership just didn't quite cut it. And so just one of those things, but I tried to show you everything as best as I could as far as the lighting goes inside and out. Just sometimes we run into that kind of thing. But overall, a very fun and practical vehicle to drive. You definitely are not hurting for space within the first 2 rows. The third row, maybe not quite as much. Not that unusual in most vehicles, unless you go with something such as a Suburban, a Yukon, a Tahoe, something like that. But it definitely offers plenty of room, and if you don't need that third row, you can fold those seats down and definitely take advantage of the available space that's there for cargo capacity. If you go on a nice road trip with the family or just on a road trip by yourself, whatever it is, there's plenty of room. A very versatile vehicle in a multitude of ways, and being that it does have X-Drive, it's all-wheel drive. If you live in an area where you deal with a lot of snow and ice, well, it's going to help you out there as well. Very well-rounded vehicle. Okay, tell me what you think about the 2025 BMW X7. Is it a great luxury 3-row SUV option? I'm curious to see what your thoughts are. I do want to say a special thanks to my friends at BMW for loaning me this X7 for the day, and a special thanks to each and every one of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button. That helps me out a lot. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. That way you don't miss any future videos. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.